I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build your own fish tanks in the creation kit for Anniversary Edition Skyrim. Okay, the first thing you have to do is when you're making your new player home, you have to make sure that your plugin has the CCBGSSE001 fish.esm. Just the fish ESM has to be one of the parent masters of your player home plugin. Once you have that done, you're good to go. You can use the vanilla versions of this for this. You need your fish tanks, so click on static and go ahead and start typing the word aquarium, and go ahead and drop and drag your pieces in there. I want to have that go down like one there, and everything looks good. There's two of them, the large and the small. The large one can hold 3 fish. The small one can hold 2. You can, if you can find a resource to make glass, you can make a much bigger fish tank that could hold up to 6. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to do the vanilla 3 and 2. You can use these vanilla ones here that come in the BSA, but I kind of want to make them custom. So to make them custom, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the record for this, and I'm going to rename it. And I'm going to push OK there. And then I'm going to open up the record for the small and do the same thing. And push OK there. Now to make these custom, I need to do some texture sets. So in the miscellaneous tab, I'm going to click on texture set. Make sure my filter is clear. And I just need something that has just the texture in the normal map. So I'm going to use the RK banner. And I'm going to rename this to 000 M9 underscore fish tank large TXT. So I know it's a texture. And I have in my folder for way stations of Skyrim, I have a city wall texture that I use in my Mighty Fresh Skyrim mod. So I'm going to use that. And just make sure the first one is the texture, the second one is the normal map. Okay on that, yes. And I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to change this to band. And I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to go to, I have a sand texture for the coast beach sand. I'm going to use that instead. So, okay. And I'm going to open that back up. And I'm going to change this one to small. Now I can use any wood I actually have or want. So I'm going to use one from Insanity's mod here. This stained wood one here. It's a real nice wood. I use it for a lot of things. And I'm going to push OK on that. Then I'm going to go to my world objects, static. And I'm going to open up my large aquarium record, new one. I'm going to click on edit. And in the alternate textures, this Aquarium 3 is for this brick right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the fish tank large texture on it. That looks excellent. Now you can leave the white sand if you want. I prefer the black sand, so I'm going to change that. That's the Aquarium 2. Okay. And then on the small textures, same thing, edit, and in the alternate textures, the first one is the wood. Like that, and the second one is the sand. Like that. Okay, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place these in my test cell here. And go ahead and drop that down one. And then I'm going to place my small fish tank here. Just like that. Now you see I have snap to grid and snap to angle turned on. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to make a trigger. Now, there's two different triggers for these. There's one for the small and one for the large. We're going to do the one for the large. Click on your large fish tank here and click the T button up here, right next to the nav mesh button. This is the create trigger button. Click on that and type in the word tank. You'll see the Creation Club content here. Go down till you see large fish tank activator. So you go ahead and you put that on there. Now, you can actually leave it like this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Get it to where I want it. This is a lot like doing a bookshelf. Push 2 to move. Get rid of your gizmos. I want to go ahead and pull this out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be enough so the player can activate it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it like that. And then maybe move it over a little bit. That. There. That looks good. And then for the small one, you click on your small fish tank. Do the same thing. Type in the word tank. And then scroll down, you'll see small fish tank activators. So you want to click on that. And go ahead and size this up to the way you want it. I usually leave it a little thicker. Oh, that's okay. And bring that, oops. Bring that up a little bit. And turn off the gizmo. Pull it out a little bit. And that will be okay right there. So now we have our two triggers that we're going to need. Now we're going to need a container. Type in tank again. And then click on container. You have two of them, one for each one here. We're going to do the one for the large here. And we're going to want to stick this out in the void outside of our house here. And then we're going to put the small one over here. And we're going to do the same thing. Just stick it out there just like that. Okay, once you have your container set up, you're going to need to go ahead and click on your activators here, double click them, and bring up the reference record and go to primitive. Make sure your player activation is clicked on here so that the player can activate it, and then do it for, make sure they all have that. Click on there and that's okay. So now we have our triggers set up. We've got our triggers and our boxes. Something that I need to point out is that you're going to want to double click your triggers here, and you're going to want to go to the 3D data tab, and in the rotation for X, changes from 0.00 to 0.01. It's a little bit of the bug in the game. It's sort of like with the player home mannequins. Do the same thing with your other trigger. You only need to do just that right there. And that is good right there. Now, you can use the vanilla fish tank chest small, and it has the scripts on it, but I'm going to make my own custom one because I want to actually put fish in it so that you can just go up, open it up, take the fish out, put the fish back in, and they will appear. So in the container record, I'm going to change the ID of this. Okay here, yes. And you can see that the base object has changed. It still has the script on it, so that's good. And then I'm going to do that with this one here. Click on edit base and change the reference here, and that'll be good right there. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to want to stick some fish in this tank. So I'm going to open that base back up, and I'm going to type the word angel, and I'm going to go to my items here, and I'm going to go to ingredients, and you can see that the angel fish comes right up. Now if you just type CC in the ingredients, you'll get a bunch of them. So maybe I want to have an angelfish and goldfish and a pearlfish for that one. And I'm going to push OK on that. OK on that. Move over to this one and edit that base. And this one I want to have goldfish and like that. Okay, okay. So now those are already in the fish tank, but they won't appear unless you take them out of the fish tank and put them back in. Okay, now we're going to want to link our fish tanks to our containers. So go ahead, click on your fish tank, double click that there, go to a link reference. Link reference, and double click there, click on select reference in reference window, and click your container out here and push OK. Push OK on that. You'll see the line shows up right there. It's real nice. Now we're going to click on our big fish tank here, and we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to hook it to the big fish tank container. That. Now we actually need to make these triggers work. So we're going to go ahead and double click on our container here, and we're going to go to the activate parents tab. And we're going to double click here. We're going to click on select reference, and we're going to click on the trigger box. That's okay. So you'll see the line there, it goes there. And we're going to do the same thing with the small fish tank here. Okay. Okay. Now that is set up. Now I want to actually clutter my fish tanks. This is a little bit harder, so go ahead and in your render window, push M to hide your markers, and then you can close this here, go down to your static menu, and we are going to type in AQUAR. There is a log for this. We're going to drag this in and drop this, and we'll bring that over like that, and that's good right there. We're going to duplicate that. We'll set that over there for right now. We're going to make this one smaller, out like that, and then we're going to turn off our snap to grid so that when we slide this down, we can put it in the sand right there. If you want to move stuff around, you actually have to go inside of the fish tank here and move it around. If you want, like that. Make it a little crooked. That's fine. That. Same thing over here. Oop. I'm gonna move this over here. We don't have to. We don't have to be real. Precise with this, because you know it wouldn't look like that. You can see that there's glass on top of aquariums. If you want to go inside of it, want to go inside and mess about here, you're gonna need like that. That looks good. Now say I want to put a ship in here, so I'm gonna type in ship, and let's see. Model wooden ship. I'm gonna preview that, and that looks like that. That'll be okay. So we're gonna drag and drop that in right here, and that's actually fairly small, so use the S key and enlarge it some. And I kind of want to have it right there and go to the top. And move it like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and sink it down into the ground here. Now, I want it to look like a shipwreck, so I'm going to get in close to it. I can work with it. Push my W key and kind of just mess about with it. Like that, and push that W key again, hide that, and now it looks like maybe it wrecked. Now, I actually want another one here for this one. Now, I'm going to take a look at the large ships like this. And I like that one. That is the one from Oh, I like that one even better. That's a good one. So I'm going to put that, drag and drop that in there, and it's huge. It is really huge. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink it down almost as far as you can go. I see that it only goes about so far. You can only take it down about so far. So I'm going to switch these out. I gotta get this ship out of here. Just enough to come over here. So I'm going to switch these about. And I want that same one there, and bring it all the way up so I can place it about where I want to place it. About like that. And then in the back there. And then I'm going to go ahead and sink that down there. That might be, needs to go that way a little bit. That will work right there. Now this ship, I'm going to take it and I'm going to churn this, and I'm going to put this one about where I want it here. Just like that. Push my W key. Kind of tilt it. Just for immersion. Well, immersion. And then go over here. And if you want to zoom in on it, just push Shift F. Bring it right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and sink that all the way down into the fish tank. That looks good right there, just like that. Now I want to put a statue in each one of them. So I'm going to type in statue. And I'm going to do the statue of Talos here. Put this in here, and same thing. Smaller. About like that. Be a little smaller. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sink that. Just like that. And on this one, I'm going to put a statue of Ella with the flower. That there. Oh, that's just the. Now you can put just the flower in there. We're going to do the statue of Ella. And I'm going to make that small like that. That there. That like that. And sink that into there. It's like that. Now if you want to put like kelp, type in kelp. And click all. You see this here. That one. That one. Static 1, 2. Just like that. Make it smaller. Duplicate it for the other fish tank. Then duplicate it again. And I'm going to take and put that one right there. And I'm gonna right here click on both of them so that they both form the same action and stick them down in the fish tank. And same thing here. I'm gonna want one here, duplicate it here, and duplicate it here. Click on all three of them and go ahead and drop them in. You don't have to be perfect, just like that. That's good. Okay, now we need to do our fish patrol markers. Now go ahead and turn your snap to grid and snap to angle back on. And you want to go ahead and clear your filter. Click on static. And what you're going to want to do is type in CC, fish tank critter marker. What you're going to go ahead and we're going to put one of them right there. If this happens, if this happens and you can't see it, we turned our markers off, so we're going to push M to turn our markers back on. Now you see the arrow here points to where it wants to, where it's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and move this up a little bit, because this bottom piece is where the fish will actually spawn. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to name this reference 000 fishy 01. That, and we are going to duplicate that. Because we're going to have 3 fish. And we're going to duplicate that again. And we're going to duplicate it again. And then put those over on the small fish tank here. So one of those. Remember what I said, they have to have 3 in one and 2 in the other. Go ahead and put that there. So that'll be fine. You can leave it there, but the fish will be static and they won't move. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to give them a patrol route. So I'm going to duplicate this one here. I'm going to bring it out, duplicate it again, bring it out, and then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the rest of these. I will be right back in a second. Okay, I got these all duplicated. Now we need to link our container to each of our starting markers. Go ahead and click on your container, bring that up there, go to link ref, and double click on that. These require keywords, so I'm going to click on my first one. You can see where the ref says fishy001. Open your keywords, type CC, and look down here. This is fish marker keyword 01. That one is good there. Leave that open, double click it again. Make sure that it is fishy. Type CC. Need fishy002. This is much like a bookshelf. Doing a bookshelf container, and this is your third one. And then DC, and put in the number 3 here, and that is good there. Now you do the same thing with this one, and you connect it to your first starting markers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, that's all done. Now we have to link our patrol markers up. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the first one here, and we're going to go to link ref. We're going to double click this, select in render window, and we want to select the second marker like that. Push OK. Doesn't need a keyword. Close that. Go to the second marker. Open that. And click on the third marker. There. Okay. And then open the third marker. And go ahead and link that back to the first marker. Okay, and what you should get is if you pull this middle one out, get a nice triangle like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do all the rest of these ones, and we'll get them linked up. Okay, I got them all linked up. You can see that they all got nice little triangles. This. So now we actually want to place these. Now this can be a little tricky. I'm going to start with the first one here. I'm going to turn off my snap to grid, and I'm going to turn off my snap to angle, kind of get it right over to the top here. So it'll go from here, and then we'll go over to here, and then we'll go over to here, but then we're going to take and churn this one so that it churns right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and click the ones that I just did right here, and I want to sink these in to the fish tank. Now, like I said, if you see how the line goes through the tallow statue, just like that, might want to move that over so that the fish goes behind, maybe behind the tallow statue. That would be great. And then I'm going to do this for the rest of them, and you can see where they are at a certain level. If you put this marker all the way down into the sand, the fish will swim down into the sand and swim back up, and that's not cool. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and I'll be right back. All right, now I have all my routes set up here, all my fish, and everything looks good. So now I'm going to go into game and see if it's working. Okay, here we are in our test cell. We walk up to the large fish tank. You can see that everything's in it that's supposed to be in it. You push the activate button, it'll give you the message. We're going to go ahead and take those fish out of here. I'm going to put those back in there. That is under ingredients. So we can only put large fish tank like this. So that's okay. That's quite all right. We are going to type help salmon. And we are going to find our ingredient, salmon roe, floor, and activators, books. Well, we can form list, salmon, alchemy, salmon. There we go. Player dot add item, and that is 050089B, and I want 3 of those. Salmon added. that. And we're going to go to this, 2 and 3. And as you can see, our fishy fishes show up. Like I said, they're fairly large, so we can just go over here to the small tank and put these, 2 of these angelfish and this goldfish in here. And you can see that those appear right there. Just like that, they're following their routes. They're being fish, doing what they want. All right, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. And remember, guys, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the like button, because that's your superpower. Every time you hit that, every time somebody hits that like button, it superpowers the video so that other people can find the video too. Also hit that subscribe button and make sure to click the bell for notifications. And if you want to tip the channel, look in the description. You'll find a link to the Ko-Fi page where you can tip the channel. Until next time, guys, remember to keep your sword sharp. Don't be a milk drinker. And always watch the skies, traveler.